Okay. So we're going to go through the benefits that are available to you for Ancillary. And then if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm gonna scroll to this. You can see it. Okay. So this is just who can enroll, when you can enroll, and all of that information. How to enroll and all of that. You guys will go through the portal, and you should have already gotten your emails, so you can go into the portal to do your onboarding for your Ancillary to make any changes there that you need to. These are the prices for the dental, the vision, accident, and hospital. When you go into the portal, it is going to calculate it out per pay period. So it's going to show you how much will come out of each check. So as you're going through and you're picking policies, it will calculate that for you. So if you put too much in there and you want to go back and make some changes, you can, but it's going to calculate that for you at the top and tell you how much is going to come out of each check. Okay. And then these are the rates for critical. And again, all of this is going to be in the system for you. Okay. Okay, so on the dental is through MetLife. You have 4 options to choose from. And they go from lowest benefit to highest benefit. Okay. So on the value plan here, this is going to be the cheapest plan. And I always tell people you get what you pay for. Okay. So this is $12 a month. However, when you look at the coverage, this plan really is only for those who go for their twice-a-year cleanings. If you have to have a filling or anything like that, this plan's only going to cover 20% of that. So it really doesn't pay out much for any services that you might have over your cleanings.
The plan, can you zoom in your screen just a little bit?
Better?
Maybe one little bit more. Awesome, thank you.
Okay. So this plan has a $500 per person max. And for anybody who's had dental work, you know that that's not much. That's not going to cover very much for you. Okay. So that's how this plan is going to work. If you have to have dental work, this is probably not the plan that you want to choose for the year. The low plan here, this one is going to cover $1,000 per person for the year. It also has $1,000 lifetime max for orthodontia. So that's going to be adult and child. Okay. Again, on major treatments, this is the low plan, so it's only going to cover 25%. That's more than the value plan, but that's not going to cover a whole lot if you have to have some serious work done. Okay. The deductibles on the plans, each plan is going to have a deductible, and it's $50 or $150 for the family. On the mid plan, this plan has a $1,500 max per person. One of the main differences is on the orthodontia, it is only for child. So this one does not have the adult, it only has a child orthodontia, and that's going to be a plan lifetime max of $1,000. And then this plan here, the high plan, this one has a $5,000 per person max. So if you have to have serious work done, this is probably the plan that you want to choose because it's going to pay out the most. And this plan also has adult and child orthodontia, and it's a bigger benefit. So you would get a $2,000 lifetime max for that benefit. Okay. Do you have any questions on dental? No. Okay. On dental and vision, which we're about to go over vision, MetLife went green. They will not supply dental cards. What you'll do when you are scheduling your appointment, your ID number is going to be your social. So your provider can look you up in MetLife's network with your social. That's going to be your member ID. Okay. Okay, on vision. So we have two plans for vision. We have the low plan, which is going to be like your standard, normal, everyday vision plan. It's a $130 allowance for frames or for your contacts. On your frames, you can get a set of frames every 24 months. And this is going to be an either or. So either you would use the $130 towards contact lenses, or you would use that $130 towards a set of glasses. Okay, so that's a very normal standard plan. Your vision, when you go have an eye exam, it's going to be $10, and then your lenses are going to be a $20 copay. Okay. On the high plan, you'll see here that your copays are much less for your lenses. Your eye exam is going to be covered at 100%. For your frames, you get a $500 allowance, which is much more than the 130. And you can also get a new set of frames every 12 months. So as opposed to waiting every 2 years to get a set of new frames, you can get a new set of frames every year. This plan also has a rider on it. And that rider is an additional $500. So for 1 year, you get two $500 allowances where you can use $500 towards a new set of glasses and the other $500 towards a set of contacts. Or you can get two sets of glasses each year. Some people will get a set of glasses and then they'll also get a set of sunglasses. So that's just something to think about. This one's more expensive, but you're getting a much bigger benefit. You're essentially getting $1,000 where this plan's only $130. That makes sense. Do you have questions on that? And again, this is going to be through MetLife, so you'll want to use a provider that's within the MetLife network. You have questions on that?
Jessica, on the LASIK, it says discounts available.
Uh-huh.
What kind of discounts does that look? What does that look like?
So it just depends on where you go and what they charge. They'll have like up to $2,000 on the discount, but we can look at that. If you have a provider that you're going to go to for LASIK, I can pull that information from MetLife and get that over to you so that you can look at that. So just let me know if you're going to have LASIK. We can get with MetLife and see what the discounts are for where you would be going.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do y'all have any other questions on that part?
Hey, Jessica, somebody just asked cataract surgery. Is that covered by vision or is that covered by health?
Cataract surgery, if you're going to it's going to be done by an ophthalmologist. So that would be something that's going to be covered under the health plan. If you're going to an optometrist, that's going to be covered on the vision. But if you go see a specialist like an ophthalmologist, that'll be covered under your health plan.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, do y'all any other questions on vision? No, pretty standard. Okay. Life insurance. So on your life insurance, you guys have the opportunity to buy up on voluntary life. If you're already past your first 30 days of employment, you can buy up in increments of 10,000 without completing a statement of health. If you buy anything over that 10,000, they will ask you'll complete a form. It's a statement of health form, and then you'll go through underwriting and they will either approve you or decline you based on your statement of health. You can buy up to 5 times your basic annual earnings, or up to 150. It's going to be whichever one's less, and then the overall is up to 500,000. Okay, and again, it's going to be whichever one is the lesser amount, either 5 times your basic annual earnings or that 500,000. You can also buy up in increments of 5,000 if you don't want to do the statement of health for a spouse. The guaranteed issue, that's going to be for in that first 30 days is what that 25,000 is. So if you're past that first 30 days, again, you'll have to fill out that statement of health. If you don't want to, then you can buy up in increments of 5,000 each year. Okay, and then the max for this is going to be up to 100,000 or 50% of your coverage, whichever one is less. Okay, and then for children, you can buy a flat amount of 10,000. It's about $2.14 it comes out to, and that's going to be for one child or 2 or 3 or whatever. You're just going to pay that one-time fee. Okay, and again, you guys don't have to do this math here. When you're inside that portal, it's going to calculate it out for you, and it's going to, if you want to do the max, it'll limit you based on your earnings and the max that you can buy. So you don't have to do that math in there to figure that out. The system's going to do that for you. Okay. Any questions on the life insurance? No? Okay. Okay, disability, you guys have access to short-term and long-term. It's going to pay up to 60% of your pre-disability earnings. So whatever you're making prior to going out, the plan's going to pay you that up to 60%. Short-term is going to run for about 90 days. So if something were to happen and you have the short-term and the long-term insurance, if you were disabled, you have a surgery, you're going to be out. Our plan is it's a 14-14, which means you'll be out for 14 days, and then the plan will start to pick up and pay on that 15th day. And that's because they want you to use any PTO or sick time that you might use. You would exhaust that, and then the plan will pick up and pay on that 15th day. So the way that these work is the plan's going to run for 90 days. If you are still out due to a disability, then you would roll into long-term disability so long as you're enrolled. And it's going to do the same thing where it's going to pay you 60% of your pre-disability. And then it's going to max out at 10,000 monthly. Okay. Usually the way that long-term plans run, if you are permanently disabled, it will run through to the age of 65. And then typically what'll happen is MetLife will work that out with you where either you would move to state disability or remain on here depending on what your situation is. Okay. Do you have questions on long or short term? I always kind of tell people if you're going to get one, the best one, I mean, if you're going to pick, if you're only going to get one, long term's probably the one that you would want to get because most people can figure out what to do for the first 90 days. It's if you're in a car accident and you're permanently disabled, anything can happen in life. That's where your long term would come in and help you pay your bills because your bills are not going to stop because you have an accident. You'll still have your mortgage, your car payment, groceries, all of that. These plans are designed to help you continue to be able to pay your bills if there is an accident. Okay. And again, there's costs down here, but when you're in the system, it's going to calculate that out for you. Okay. It's not going to cover anything pre-existing. So if you have a current issue that's going on, it's not going to cover that, but it would be anything moving forward. So if you have like a knee injury right now, it's not going to cover that. But if you were in an accident and were disabled from that accident, once the plan's set up, then it will pick that up. Okay. Do you have any questions on short-term or long-term? No? Okay, I'm going to go to the next one. Okay, flexible spending. You guys will be able to sign up for this for the year. This is going to be for 2022. These are FSAs are use it or lose it. So you want to make sure that you budget out what you would do. So a good example is if you know that every month you're going to spend $100 on prescriptions, you you might as well set up an FSA and pay for that pre-tax. The plan, what'll happen is when you sign up, you're going to get a card at the beginning of the year, and that card's going to be loaded with whatever amount you choose. So say you choose, in that example, $1,200. Your card will be loaded in January for that $1,200. And then what'll happen is you'll pay that deduction over the course of the year for that deduction is going to come out each payroll throughout the 12 months. So you're not going to pay that all at one time. It's going to split it up over the year. But then you can use that to pay for anything that's medically necessary. And again, you want to make sure that you are budgeting if you do sign up for the FSA, because if you don't use that money, then you do lose it. Okay, and that's it's a rule for the IRS. So they're going to give you a tax-free benefit, but if you don't use it, then they're going to take that back. Okay. It also has dependent care. So if you have dependents that are in a licensed, like a daycare or anything like that for children, you can use this money to pay for that. And that's going to be up to $5,000 for that dependent care. Okay. So like if you know that you're going to have a surgery or something like that this year, if you're going to have some dental work done, you might think about putting money into your FSA. Because then you can use those tax-free dollars to pay for that, to pay towards your deductible or whatever it might be that you're having done. Okay. Y'all, any questions on FSA and how that works? No? Okay. Okay, accident. So the next few plans, these are going to be, they're through MetLife, but everybody's familiar with Aflac, where they pay you, and that's how these plans are set up. So for the accident plan, you can choose low or high, and this would be an off-the-job accident. So it's not going to be something that's on the job, because that's where your workers' comp is going to pick up. It would be something that happens. So my sister and I used to ride horses, and my mom had an accident policy for us. So she used it a couple of times for my sister when she had some injuries from falling off. She was able to file claims through the insurance carrier. So if she took us to the doctor or anything like that, she would file those claims through the carrier, and then they would send her a check. The amount that you're paid out is going to depend on the severity of your injury, and that's going to be done through MetLife. So if you break your arm, it's going to depend on the fracture and how bad it is on the amount that you would get paid back. So it's just going to depend on what's going on and what the severity of the issue is on the amount that they will pay you back. But if you have kids in sports or anything like that, it might be something that you think about, because then you can use this if you have to meet your deductible or anything like that. When you take them to the doctor, you can use this money to help reimburse yourself. Okay. Do you have questions on these plans? No, they're pretty self-explanatory. So again, it's just going to be if you have an accident, that's what this coverage is going to be for. And again, if you have kids that are in sports, this might be a plan that you look at. The hospital indemnity plan. This plan is going to pay if you're ever confined into the hospital. What some people will do is if you're planning on having a baby this year, you might sign up for the short-term disability to cover that time that you would be out. And then you might sign up for the hospital indemnity plan, and that'll help cover some of the hospital charges while you're in the hospital for that. If you're going to have a surgery or something like that, you might sign up for this plan. But it's not going to be for, if you're currently pregnant, it's not going to cover it because there's going to be a pre-existing on it. But it would be for anything else. So if you're planning on having something done, it just hasn't been scheduled or anything like that, then you might sign up for this plan now to help you cover some of that cost when you go into the hospital, because you'll have to meet your deductible and you'll have co-pays and all of that, and you're out of pocket. And this can help kind of put some money back into your pocket. Okay. Do you have any questions on these? Okay. Critical illness. So I'm enrolled on this plan. My family has a history of cancer and heart disease. So I signed up for this plan because if we're all being realistic, I know that, my chances of having an issue like that with my family history is pretty high. So I signed up for this plan. I did the high plan just because that fits my family need. But you have two options. You have a low and a high. On the low plan, it's a $15,000 payout. On the high plan, it's a $30,000 payout. The idea behind these are if you are diagnosed with a critical illness, not most of the time you're going to be out of work. If it's something like, heaven forbid, if it's something like cancer, you'll have treatments, you'll be out of work. This is to help to keep you going. So again, it's money that comes back to you to help you pay for your bills, help you pay your mortgage, help you pay your car payments, get groceries and all of that, because while you're going through those things, the bills don't stop. So that's really the idea behind these plans, is if you are diagnosed with something that's serious, this is going to help to keep you going, in the event that something like that were to happen to you or one of your family members. Okay. Do you have any questions on this? You guys are so quiet. Okay, so again, in the system, when you're going through, it's going to calculate out based on your age what the amount's going to be per paycheck, okay? Oop. Okay. You also have access to an EAP program. So if you need to call in, you can call and speak to a licensed therapist. There's all these different benefits that it'll help you with. There's also a will where they'll help you put a will together through that service. So if you don't have a will, you can do that through here.
I just wanted to add, I feel like this is one of the most underutilized programs. It's anonymous. Nobody's going to know about it. I don't get anything. Hugh doesn't know about it. And I've used it at a past job for some counseling sessions. And it was legit. So I think this is something that's out there that's kind of free to you guys. And if there's things people are struggling with, reach out to them and see if they can kind of help you.
I have a question. How many days can you
Sessions,
yeah. How many sessions do you hit?
Jessica, did you hear that? I can't remember off the top. How many, on a counseling, or does it kind of depend on how many sessions they would qualify for?
It depends on what the counseling's for. So it would just depend on what that's for. Typically, it's 20 that you'll get for free.
So I always want to point this out because I think everybody goes through a lot of stuff in their life, and it's been a crazy couple of years, and I don't think anybody should be suffering when there's something that's free and you don't have to go outside. And like I said, it's anonymous. Nobody gets a report, so nobody can say, Margaret, I know. I just, there's stuff out there for people. Just get, talk to someone or get any assistance that you can, because it's included with everything. So
my wife's in HR, so she just told me all about it. So
yeah, like I said, I feel like it's one of the most underutilized things. I think people think they need to go find it and pay for it, and they can't afford it. So yeah, it's here. I think I sent the flyer to Michael at some point. I can double check that, and just like I said, we can post it on your interweb or on a bulletin board so that you guys don't have to ask for it. It's just kind of right there for you. But okay, that's it.
Well, and just to add to that, COVID really messed with people. So there are a lot of people that are suffering from depression, being secluded and sequestered. I've been working from home since March of 2020, and it was life-changing. You don't see your team members on a daily basis. My coworkers are two four-legged furry animals, you know, so
The best kind.
every once in a while, they are the best, but you can't really hold a conversation with them. So,
A one-sided conversation.
I mean, you know, so it is good to have somebody that you can reach out to and talk to, especially if you're struggling. My family there was depression in my family from COVID. I suffered a bit from it, and I did use this EAP program. So I think it's really, really important. Your mental health is very important, and people don't really think about that. But you know, if your mental health goes down, then your physical health will go down as well. So it is very important to take care of your mental health and live a happy life. So this is available for you. It's available for your dependents and any household members. Okay. Gold Gem. I'm not. Do y'all have Gold Gem in Colorado?
I know there might be one or two in Colorado Springs, but yeah, I don't know about actually in Castle Rock. So it doesn't, unfortunately. I've been trying to push for a different kind for us Coloradans, but yeah, I think there's a handful here in Colorado. So
well, that's
no.
okay. I'm in Houston and we don't have a Gold's Gym either, so it doesn't really work out for me. I'm also not one that really enjoys going to the gym, but
do you even know what a gym looks like? Have you seen the inside of a gym?
Ironically, I do know what the inside of a gym looks like. It's just not my favorite. But so if you guys are close to one, it does have to be a corporate location. There is a discount there for it. We are looking at other gyms. We did that a couple of years ago. We didn't get a lot of interest in it. But I know that I believe second quarter, we're going to start looking for some other gyms that are close to the area to see if we can partner with some other ones to get some other discounts. But for right now, we have Gold's Gym. Grief counseling, that's going to be sort of baked into that EAP. And it's the same thing. You can call and speak with a counselor if you have a death in your family or anything like that. You can call and speak to a grief counselor. You know, and then they can kind of help get you set up for what happens next. There was a lady that used to work with us, and her mom passed away, and she used the grief counseling to help. If you've never done it before, I wouldn't know what to do to schedule a funeral and get all of that together. What happens next? What do you do? They can help you get that arranged and take some of that off of you, because that's the last thing that you want to think about when you have something like, you know, when you have a death. The last thing that you want to think about is doing those things. Okay. eSwag. There are some vendors that you can get discounts through. It's going to be like the parks. So Disney World, Disneyland, stuff like that. You're like in Houston, we used to have Astroworld, or at Six Flags that they have in San Antonio. So any of the parks, there's usually a discount for those types of places. And if you've ever gone and you have kids, you know that one meal is like $30. So any money that you can get off is very nice, especially when if you're taking kids to the park, because everything's really expensive there. Okay, so you can log on and look around if you are going to do something like that, maybe in the summer, or if you're going to go and do something fun like that, look here to see if they have discounts on the places that you're going. Okay. Oops. FinFET, this is not going to be, it's not in Colorado, unfortunately.
Again, we're the redheaded stepchild.
I know.
I did inquire about something with FinFET, because I had an employee that needed, and I think it wasn't a kind of traditional FinFET, but I think they could do, if you kind of had worked the hours already, like if you'd already worked your 80 hours, they could do kind of a loan off of that. So it's a little bit of a different capacity. FinFET used to be able to give you like a certain amount of, you know, like if your tires blew on the road and you're like, crap, I can't afford it. I think there's a smaller amount that is eligible for Colorado employees. So if anybody does need anything, reach out to me and I'll see kind of what that kind of, it's a smaller amount of, I think it's only up to like $500, but it is an option, for people.
And on the legal services, you do have access to legal services through MetLaw. It's going to be for driving tickets. It's not going to get you out of a DUI, and it's not going to get you out of a divorce. Okay, so it's not going to be for those two things. So don't sign up for it if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
But if
Yes.
you own properties and you need contracts written up, like if you have rental properties or something like that, they can help you put those contracts together. They can help you with speeding tickets and stuff like that. So if you have a lead foot, you might want to purchase that to help you get out of those tickets. But it's not going to do anything. It's not going to get you out of, you're not going to get a divorce with it, and you're not going to get out of a DUI. So let's just not do those things. Okay, but this is available to you. So if you have just simple legal things that you need done, you have access to lawyers there. Okay. Pet insurance, you have access to this through MetLife. There's not a set price. You do have to call in to MetLife to get the pricing, because it's going to depend on the breed, if it's a male or female, if they're fixed, how old they are. If you have a new furry member of your family, this might be something that you look into. I have my dogs, I call them dumpster puppies. They're all side of the road dogs. And I got the latest one that I have. I snuck her in the house about 4 years ago, and I was going to get the pet insurance on her, but I stupidly went and did an allergy test on her. And she came back with, my vet said, the worst list of allergies he had ever seen. She's allergic to humans. Did not know that was a thing, but it is. Anyway, so now that she has that diagnosis, I can't use the pet insurance to cover that. So it's not going to cover anything pre-existing. So her prescriptions and all of that, I could have used that to help with that stuff, but not anymore. So if you have a pet that does not have a diagnosis yet, if you have a pet and they have allergy problems and you're going to get the testing done, do the pet insurance before you do that, because you want to have the insurance in place before you get that diagnosis. And I could tell you, the prescriptions are expensive, and the prescription dog food that I have to have her on is very expensive too. So I really kind of shot myself in the foot by doing that. I just was not thinking. But it is there and it is available. Surgeries, dental cleanings. I don't know if I have my little dog. Little dogs have nasty mouths, and she's going to have to go in for another dental soon. The last dental that she had was $1,200. So it's really expensive. And pet insurance can help take some of that cost off of you. Okay. The will center, again, you guys have access to this. If you do not have a will in place, it's always good to have one, so that you can kind of line out what your wishes are, but also so that it just makes everything easier for the family. If you have a will in place so that, your wishes are met, you can have a will created through that will center. Personal insurance through MetLife, you can sign up for home or auto. You can get discounts through there because you're part of ESI's block of business. On the auto insurance, you do have to call in to get those rates, and the same for your home insurance. They do bill about 2 months behind. So if you do sign up for it, say you're on it and you have it for a year, and then you find auto insurance, it's a little bit cheaper through another vendor. You will have 2 more months of payments through MetLife, because they do run about 2 months behind in their billing. So just so that you know, that is kind of how that works. It's a little odd, the way that they run their billing. So I always try to tell people that because I don't want you to get into it and then when you go to cancel it, you have to make your down payment for your other insurance. You're still going to have those, you'll still have like a couple of months of payments that are left over with MetLife. But you can get some really good discounts through that. Travel assistance. Not many people are traveling overseas right now, but if you are, you do have access to the travel assistance through MetLife. So if you were overseas and you lost your passport or your ID, they will help get you home. So, because you have to have your passport to get on the plane. If you were to lose anything like that, you can call in and they'll help get you situated so that you can get home. Okay. And that's going to be, if you sign up for that voluntary life, then this benefit will be available to you. Okay.
What does, under travel assistance, what does concierge services cover?
I will have to find out on that. No one has ever asked me that question. So I'll find out what exactly is under the concierge and I can send that over to you. Get a note there. Okay. Okay. On the retirement, you guys have the Slavic plan. So you can sign up for that. That's a quarterly enrollment. So you can go in, you'll do that through Slavic. They'll be able to help you get enrolled, set up, what your strategy is, low, medium, or high, but they'll be able to help you get set up with that so that you can put money aside to retire, because we all want to do that one day, but we have to have money to do it. So the sooner you can start saving, the better. Okay. Do you have any questions on any of these benefits? Okay, and then this is just our conclusion page. So the main things that you want to do when you're going through your open enrollment in the portal, you'll go through each tab. It's going to, you'll want to see a green check mark on each tab through the benefits enrollment. If there's anything that has a red X or anything like that, it's not going to let you move forward. And then one of the other issues that people have when they're in there is when you're signing off on your name's going to be what we have in the system. So if you are Jonathan Smith in the system, but you go by John Smith, you have to sign off as Jonathan Smith. And your name will be up in the top right-hand corner in that portal when you're at the signature page. So you'll just sign it exactly like that. So like my legal last name is First. So I have to sign mine off as Jessica First because it's not going to take my married name Nelson because in the system I'm under First. So just so that you guys know, that's usually one of the #1 issues that I get calls for where people can't close out their open enrollment. It's because when you go through there, it's not going to take your name unless it matches exactly what's in that portal. Okay. And then again, if you guys have any questions when you're going through, you can call into our office and ask for the benefits department. And one of our team members will be able to help you with any questions that you might have while you're going through that part of your onboarding.
And then I also put the benefits email. So if you email them, it'll kind of go into a queue and they'll work and get that resolved for you. And we obviously, as you can imagine, get a lot of calls and emails, and they're very responsive, and typically like within the day, somebody will get back to you and help get it resolved. And then just as a reminder, your open enrollment for Ancillary, so everything we went over today ends this Friday. So make sure you have that email and you know if you're going to do any changes. If you don't, reach out to us and we'll make sure you guys have all the information so you can log in and get that taken care of.
Yeah, and sometimes the email will go to your spam box. So if you don't have the email for open enrollment, there's nothing in that email that you really need. You just need to log into your ESI portal. And because that's really all the email is telling you to do is, hey, it's open enrollment. Go here to log in, but you're gonna go to your ESI portal, you're gonna log in, and you'll go over to the benefits tab and do your benefits onboarding.
So I can give you your guys' like usernames and reset passwords and stuff like that, because I know sometimes people log in once and never again. So I'm happy to provide you guys that information so that you guys can even log into the portal. And then, so this email, I believe, was sent out the Wednesday or Thursday so it was probably sent out November 17th or 18th, if you guys want to just like look back on a date. And then if you're not going to make any changes, Jessica, is it correct? It'll roll over to next year.
Yes, it will.
I think it's always good to go in there and make sure you have a beneficiary in there and, you know, like all that kind of stuff taken care of, because nothing's worse than if something does happen, God forbid, and that information is your ex-wife from 5 ex-wives ago, and now they're, so it's always good just to kind of do a gut check on everything that you have, and beneficiaries are good, and current and up to date, because I have seen that become a big headache for people.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. So if you have the wrong beneficiary in there, if you had the ex-spouse and you got remarried and the new spouse was not added as a beneficiary, it's gonna go to the ex-spouse. So we can't do anything about that. So you want to make sure that your beneficiaries are up to date. And that has happened. So, and that was not a phone call that I had a lot of fun on. She was not happy.
It was good for training.
Yes.
Does anybody else have any questions? You're good? Perfect.
I'm just gonna stop this recording.